Okay, so I'm Allison Mills. I'm a science writer here at Michigan Tech, and I've got Amy Marcarelli here today, who studies nutrient cycling in lakes and streams. Mm-hmm. Did I get that right?
Close enough.
Good. All right, so let's get down to what we're going to be talking about today. Before that, Career Award. Mm-hmm. So you are a National Science Foundation Early Career Awardee. Is that your official title?
Close enough. Career Award winner.
Okay, so what does it mean to be a Career Award winner?
So a career project is a 5-year project that has to combine novel research and also teaching development and outreach, and it's designed to be a project that would take somebody from an early career point, people typically win them in their last couple of years before tenure, and provide a research plan that would take them then through the next 5 years of their research program to launch them to hopefully become leaders in their field.
Okay, so just to go over this again, let's run through the nitrogen cycle, the way people think of it now.
Okay.
And then the different nutrients that are important and why your research then is important.
Okay, so, oh man, 30 seconds.
Don't think about the time, just do it.
Yeah, okay. So I'm particularly interested in the process of nitrogen fixation, which is the conversion of nitrogen gas from the atmosphere into ammonium, and that's carried out by a few specialized groups of bacteria. The one that I study mostly are cyanobacteria, so they can also photosynthesize. They use that fixed nitrogen to build their biomass, and they do release some, or when they die, that nitrogen gets released into the atmosphere. Other microbes convert it into nitrate, and then that nitrate can be used as an energy source by a different group of microbes that convert the nitrate back into nitrogen gas that gets released into the atmosphere in a process called denitrification. In natural ecosystems, we think of those two processes as being balanced, but the problem is that we've added lots and lots of free nitrogen into these systems through human activities and releases of sewage and agriculture. Organisms need more than just nitrogen to build their biomass. They need carbon, they need nitrogen, they need phosphorus, they need a whole suite of other trace metals and nutrients. And phosphorus is one that's particularly important because it's often limiting in freshwater ecosystems, and it's also one that we add a lot to the environment. And it may be that in many systems we add actually proportionally more phosphorus than nitrogen. And when we do that, we can actually cause, even though there's lots of nitrogen going into the atmosphere, if there's more phosphorus going in relative to organism needs, then we can actually continue to see nitrogen limitation even at very high nitrogen loading levels, which means that there could continue to be an incentive for microbes to carry out the nitrogen fixation process. So the end result is that in streams, we assume that this nitrogen fixation ceases, and so we haven't measured it. So there's rates in the literature from maybe 20 or 30 streams, and I've published about half of those. So we really don't have the evidence in streams or rivers to understand the balance between these two. And so our proposal was to go and to measure these two processes across a gradient of nitrogen concentrations, across a gradient of N/P ratios, in streams as in as many different biomes in North America as we can get to in 5 years. So everywhere, hopefully from Alaska to Puerto Rico.
Yeah, just like introducing like it's time for the metaphor.
Yeah, time for the metaphor. Okay, so it is time for our science metaphor. So we need to come up with a metaphor for the nitrogen cycle. We did have the economy proposed earlier.
It's just too lame, though.
Yeah.
It's not obscure enough.
Yeah, I mean, that's supply and demand. I mean, in many ways, that's the whole basis of biogeochemistry. People started doing biogeochemistry by building budgets, basically. So you would look at what was coming in and what was going out. So it was originally very much had that kind of an economy approach to it. So
that would explain the budget language then. Huh.
The way that we described this in the proposal was that nitrogen fixation and denitrification should be balanced in natural systems, and that you could think of them as sort of a yin and yang to, balanced but counteracting forces. And we assume when we've added these nutrients into the system that we've thrown that yin and yang out of balance by increasing denitrification relative to nitrogen fixation. The problem is that we've only measured 1/2 of that in our studies, so all that we know about is the effects of denitrification, and we know very little about the opposing force of nitrogen fixation.
Check out more of Amy's work at Unscripted, where methods meet metaphor and we talk science in plain English.